more about the Cardinals quarterback, Kyler Murray. The Jets have pressured opposing quarterbacks at the highest rate this season. However, beware, Kyler Murray has excelled when pressured. He has the league's second highest QBR at 86. That's almost triple the league average of 30. He also averages the third highest yards per dropback in his four touchdowns, the third most without an interception. Dan, will Kyler continue to have success under pressure?
Absolutely. I think there's three things that are allowing him to play to that style, and I expect that to continue to be the case. Number one, he doesn't panic. Even when you pressure him, when you blitz him, the Chicago Bears tried to blitz one way and drop out. Never underestimate your ability to not throw the football. He goes to throw that stick route, not there, gets outside of that pressure, finds the back Benson, and just that little dump off goes for an 18-yard gain because he's not overwhelmed by that pressure. The second thing, this game is slow for him right now. He is seeing it very quickly again. Chicago tries to blitz him, tries to pressure him with guys off the line of scrimmage and droppers. You got that three-level sail and/or flood. But as McBride comes out of his break, those defenders are outside of him. Don't lead him there, Kyler. Hold him up, back shoulder that corner out, turn him away from those guys. Fantastic. Third thing, Mina talks about the run, the duo, the counter as well. They do such a good job of faking the counter and then getting Kyler outside of the pocket. I love the ball handling, the fake, the outside release to keep the corner widened to that sideline. Number one, that flat's not there, how quickly he gets to number two. And again, you're going to see a back shoulder on purpose ball to pull him away from that corner. You could try to pressure Kyler right now. It won't work. Right now, this is the cleanest and best football we've seen of Kyler's career.
Yeah. So I think Dan Orlovsky honestly said it perfectly. Sometimes I don't even like to do his clips because it's just so hard for me to honestly disagree with anything he has to say. But I just really wanted to highlight what he's saying fundamentally, right? And he said it in the very last sentence, right? We can go through all the other stuff that he said, but the reality is that this is the best Kyler Murray's ever been. And I think there's a few reasons why we're seeing that. Now, I'm on the record, and this might maybe anger some Arizona Cardinals fans, so, just bear with me. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a great offensive mind. I really, really do. I think the issues that Cliff faced was a collection of issues, which we won't have to unpack right now. But at the core of it, though, him and Kyler did not get along. Whatever it was, Kyler did not resonate with Cliff, or Cliff didn't resonate with Kyler, I should say. And that's okay. Sometimes that's just the way it is. I think Kyler Murray also early on in his career was a little bit immature, right? I mean, which is totally understandable, right? When you're this athletic freak and you're the number one overall pick and you're making all this money and you're pretty much going to become the savior of Arizona and have very early success, like that's like a guarantee to happen. We've seen it so many times. But Kyler, I think, has matured just with time and experience, with injuries as well. That, as someone who's been injured so many times, there's nothing more humbling than literally being down for the count, especially multiple times with multiple injuries. And I think like that, for me, has forced me to mature and understand the people around me and appreciate the things that I have and don't have for that matter. And so I think that was a process. And I think now also with new management, new coaching staff, and all of that, as well as just health of the other players, because also the Cardinals were also unlucky early on in Kyler's career with injuries of just other people, not Kyler Murray, right? And that honestly was a major impact as well. And so it's just a fascinating prospect when we think about it. Like, Kyler Murray was legitimately supposed to essentially be like Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes, right? Like, he was supposed to be on that trajectory, this top quarterback in the NFL, transcendent, electric, run, throw, can just do it all, right? Like, he can just truly do it all. And it kind of started off that way, and then again, because of injuries and whatnot, and just the way how it unfolded, we didn't see that. That wasn't accomplished, right? And then again, now you're firing coaches, you're getting injuries, and now you're starting the next season and you're not even playing now, right? Like, even when there is a new regime and all of that. And because of that, Kyler Murray's reputation he just wasn't really talked about that much, right? Really, like, honestly, the most he got talked about was the whole thing with like the contract and playing video games or whatever, or that he doesn't watch film and stuff like that. So it wasn't even really like, when he was being talked about, it obviously wasn't even positive, right? And now, even now, like this season, the Cardinals are pretty good, obviously 5-4, not an earth-shattering record, right? They're not 7-1 or whatever, so that by default gives them a little bit less popularity as if they had a better record. But the truth is like we talk about other teams that are 5-4, 4-4, 4-5, way more than we talk about the Arizona Cardinals, right? We talk about those quarterbacks. We've talked the Dallas Cowboys. This will always be the best reference. The Dallas Cowboys season has been awful, right? Dak Prescott has been awful, and yet every single sports segment involves the Dallas Cowboys, right? You can't watch an hour of sports TV and not have them bring up the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it's not necessarily the fairest example, I confess, because they are so massively popular that all of these channels and shows are going to talk about them, no matter what it is, right? But it does us such a disservice because the Arizona Cardinals are clearly worth talking about. If you ask the average person, average fan, even a fan that actually watches a lot of football, who's one of the most successful quarterbacks right now in the NFL with pressure, most people would not say Kyler Murray. They're going to be like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, right? They're going to name everyone but Kyler Murray. That's a problem. I find that as a fundamental problem, how under-discussed someone who's obviously playing such great ball, right? Who was obviously always a great top-level player in the NFL, and to just see them now obviously having success and still be under-discussed is, unfortunate, quite frankly, right? I mean, we saw the numbers before that was highlighted, if I can bring it back. Right? I mean, well, that's just under pressure now, right? Second in QBR, third in yards per dropback, third in touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, it's just, that's awesome, right? I mean, that's amazing. I mean, think about when we talk about who's in the MVP conversation, and like no one's mentioned Kyler Murray. And again, probably because the record, right? If they had a little bit better of a record, he would probably be more elevated in the discussion. But I wanted at least to take a second to give the man his flowers, right? To praise him, to say how underappreciated this team. And I think this division, like I said also in a previous video, I think probably about a week ago, like this division is about to heat up, man. Like this division is about to be for real. I think the 49ers are going to significantly be better, especially now that they got Christian McCaffrey. I think the Rams are on path to being significantly better, especially now that they got their weapons and they're healthy with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua alone, and an offensive line getting healthier as well. So it's like this division is up for grabs, and it's gonna be close, right? It's gonna be intense, and for the longest time, I kept saying that the NFC North is can't miss TV, right? Just because of the gauntlet of those teams, the Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the Packers, and then hotshot rookie quarterback Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears, right? Like those games are can't miss TV. And right now, these divisional games will truly be also can't miss TV, right? Just watching the head-to-head, and because the stakes are going to matter so much. This wild card race is going to be devastating this season. That much is obvious. We have multiple only like 2-loss teams and 7-win teams being the wild card right now, right? Like it's so these divisions are going to be you either win the division or you're just out of the playoffs, right? Sometimes the wild card spot is like wide open, and occasionally we see it where it's just like, this is crazy, right? There's just too many good teams or too many teams with a competitive record, and so these games are just going to end up mattering so much. And when you can get wins, you better get them, right? You got to stack wins. We are at the point where in the season, not only in the season, but also how the season is unfolding in general, you got to stack wins, you got to stack wins, you got to stack wins. So it's going to be cool to see not only the pressure within the game rise for the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, but then also just the macro pressure of like, again, you got to get these wins. And I'm excited to see what the Cardinals have in store for us. They've just been a really fun team to watch. Really exciting, honestly. They have a lot of these big plays, a lot of it's like a combination between like old school and new school, honestly, right? A lot of running. There's a very run center team for sure, and it's just, I don't know, it just, when you watch the games, it just feels so fast. But like Dan Orlovsky said, the game is happening slow. You just see players that feel like they're in control of the game, of the moment, and I think it's just really cool to watch, honestly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What What do you guys all think about the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray's performance this season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.